Right, moment of truth, I guess. It's 8 now, and I just got a good old package from Mac. So I am very excited to open this, actually. Excuse my fucking messy ass room. Alright, but yeah, I got this indoors. I'm gonna open it up in here, and that should be fun. That should be fine, I think. Alright, so it's been one full day since I actually filmed that last bit. Right now it's like 4 o'clock the next day. So we got our Axleback exhaust, but you know, it wasn't, I didn't film opening it because it's on the stream and the channel. So you know, if you wanna watch that instead, that's also a good idea. Not really, it's pretty bad. Alright, I'm gonna stop you right there, Chief. The first thing I decided to do with my exhaust is put it up to my face. What the fuck is wrong with me? Anyway, there she is. There is our good old exhaust out of the box. It's the Mac Axleback exhaust for the Mustang V6. I hope it's not bad. I've heard very few sound clips of it. You know, very few people have got it and posted it to YouTube. But I'd like to think it's alright. But only mounting it will tell. So I guess I'm just going to mount it later. So here we are. We're actually going to do this. We got all our pieces out. And we got, of course, the car. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? Anyway, we're going to get started with this shit. Okay, now if you have half a brain, like I do, then you should be able to do this. Alright? It's pretty simple. So we got the exhaust. The good old thing that goes with it. Flashlight just in case, you know, a good old kit with the fucking wrenches and a ratchet and whatever. And of course, your good old jack. Also, a good idea would be to put these like bricks or whatever wooden studs down as well, just to make sure the car doesn't roll. Because the last thing you might want happening is the car rolling. You also might need jack stands, which I'm still trying to find. So. Be right back. Alright, we found our jack stands. Should be cool. There's the other one. Alright, so instead of spending a lot of time trying to remove these pieces, see if I could aim it in there. Instead of spending a lot of time trying to remove these pieces, what I'm going to end up doing is removing a piece in the back over here. Just kind of like making sure that it just comes off, so the entire piece comes off and I could just take the exhaust off. I'll mount these back later. Remember, kids, WD-40 is your friend. This thing is amazing. As you can see already, it's starting to come off pretty well. So our WD-40 really worked there. So I'm gonna start grabbing this, and then we're gonna pull it right out. All right, after a bit of lubrication and some good old strength, you know, we finally got the entire muffler out. So these little black things right here are actually the hanger kit that we're gonna remove and reuse with the other Mac exhaust. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, so this is giving me a bit of trouble. We got this little like edge over here, which is preventing this from coming out very smoothly. So what I'm going to try to do is going to try to wedge something in between here and there, create some leverage, and slide this one out. Because we want this, we really want to get this out. Oh, and by the way, this is the tail end, which belongs right over, so we could point some light at it, right over there. So, you know, that's where the other one's going to be attached to. So just make sure to do that. Also, another thing I'm doing is making sure that I'm going to set the other exhaust in the same position as this one. I have this one up in the front, this one to the left side of this, and of course this one's going to be laid down on the tail end just so I don't get confused on where they go. I wedged something in between here and there, and I just got it over the little top notch, and then I just spun it so it would continue going around, and eventually got out. So that was a pretty successful thing to do. What I did notice though is that one of these little areas in here, over here, is starting to deteriorate, which probably isn't the best deal. So I can focus on that. I'll eventually have to replace that. What I am noticing though is the positioning of some of these, like specifically that one, the mounts are different. So I'm gonna see if I'm gonna have to move these or anything, or if I'm actually have to get a new mounting kit just to put it on my Mustang. So we'll just see how this plays out. Probably the best idea to do is to mount the little mounts first before putting this one on. So then I could just place it, start hanging it on. So there we go. Keeping this real nice and tight. Make sure that once we turn on the car, we're going to spray this down with a little bit of water to make sure that we tighten it just enough to where the exhaust fumes can escape out of. Because that's what we don't want. We don't want anything escaping out of here. I want to make this real tight. So don't like get lazy in doing this part. You're gonna have to, or else you're gonna have to just eventually go back under and do it. Came to these types of mounts. Here's what I did find cool: that you get a better alignment if you start by hand tightening this one and then going to this one. Because then, you know, this one's already in the right place. All you really need to do is kind of jiggle this around a bit, and there you go. Should be right in the hole. So yeah, good tip. I'm fucking tired, dude. So our last nut is in. I'm gonna use the wrench to tighten this one all the way up. So then we're gonna go ahead and make sure that this exhaust doesn't hit the bumper up here. You want to make sure there's at least some space, and you want to center it. So we're just gonna move it around, make sure that we're gonna all the bolts are well secure, but also to center this. And then we're gonna go ahead and pass over one more time, and then again to make sure they're all nice and tight. Last thing we want is going to the car meet and just our exhaust falling off or something blasting out of the exhaust. Maybe a nut or something. That'd be pretty embarrassing. All right, now that it's all nice and in there, everything is nice and tightened. I'm gonna give it a good old pull, make sure nothing comes loose. All right, make sure not to get the jack out of under the car. But make sure, give it a nice little pull, make sure everything's nice and tight, make sure that it's not touching any of the bumper, and we should be fine. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be that much distance between the top of this and the bottom of the bumper, but I mean, I guess I'll figure it out eventually. So it is in fact the morning, and we're gonna go see what the car sounds like now. Took a shower, woke up, and I'm very tired, if you couldn't already tell. Right, moment of truth, I guess. Should really probably use my other hand. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but if that doesn't sound magnificent, I'm not sure what does, man. Right, so quickly, I made a bit of a run for some groceries, but it's loud. If you really want a loud exhaust, this might be for you. It's pretty quiet at low RPMs and idle, but as soon as you start hitting on the gas just a little bit, then you'll really start getting the sound out. Alright, from now we're just backing up. It's actually quite quiet when you're not really hitting the gas or anything. Alright, so all in all, it has a very deep tone if you really like that. Notice that in the cabin when you're driving, there is a lot more noise than you would imagine. But I mean, if you really like that, I mean, it shouldn't interfere too much, but I mean, if you're trying to talk to somebody in there, it will get in the way. You just hear it constantly, and every time you accelerate, you definitely will hear it. During like idling or just not pressing on the gas at all, you're really not going to hear it. It's actually pretty quiet. But for me, it's going to be my daily driver. So I'm going to need something a little stealthier so not the, you know, the neighbors don't get on my ass about it. I love it, but as long as it's justified. But you see, I have a V6. I'm not going to go freaking race anybody out there because I mean I'm not fat, so yeah, I mean I'm gonna have to do some shit about that. But yeah, that wraps it up for me, and that's your good old Mac Axle Mac exhaust and an install for that. So you know, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Now, for those of you who asked so kindly, I'd like to give a shout out to my boys.
Mission Control, we have a belligerent dumbass here that won't cooperate. Yeah, I'm doing all I can. I'm gonna need you to send me in some backup.